Good afternoon YouTube, welcome back to Fat Cat Collections. Today I want to do another kind of discussion video, and this is about Western Digital Mycloud network attached storage or NAS drives. Now I've used many different drives over the years, different brands. I built some of my own NAS drives, and for those of you who aren't familiar with what a NAS is, basically network attached storage is basically a hard drive, just like you would have on your laptop, computer, cell phone, that is accessible throughout your network, and in some cases remotely accessible. Now, I've experimented over the years with using programs like Kodi. In the day of streaming, having a nice digital media library is pretty cool. It allows you to have a really nice big of collection of all your DVDs that you purchase that are ripped to a digital file, like an MP4, depending on how you want to rip them. And it allows you to basically stream those devices to any one of your devices within your network. Now, there are companies out there that make network attached storage that has the capability for remote access. And so what that allows you to do is basically tap into your files from your cell phone or from from another desktop. Just depends on the company. Now, I've messed around with some of them, and ultimately, for the remote access part, there are ways you can remote access devices like NAS drives and USB hard drives without having to have something with that cloud capabilities. Now, why would you want to access your files remotely? Well, mainly if, depending on your business, you may need to access files remotely if you're out in the go. For me personally, there's no documents that I really need to access remotely other than like media, So sometimes you may want to go ahead and maybe cast a movie where maybe you're on vacation, maybe you're staying somewhere, you want to be able to watch a movie on your phone or your tablet and be able to tap into your drive. So over the years, I've used Western Digital Mycloud, and I've always had the remote access turned off. There's different ways that you can access files should you need to do that. For me, it was more of something I thought I would use more than I actually did. So I do use it when I'm on the network. So basically my network attached storage hosts all my movies and music throughout my network, throughout my different TVs. That's a whole different topic, different video on how you do all that stuff. But what I wanted to do this video because right now, because Western Digital Mycloud is actually changing their operating system, I believe, on a lot of their drives from OS 3 to 5. And again, if I misspeak, just correct me. What that means is that anybody who has the older devices that cannot be upgraded to OS 5 due to security protocols will no longer be able to access remotely their files. Now, that's still going to work on your network, which is fine. But what about those folks who really bought these drives because they needed to access those files remotely? Now, the good news is a lot of routers have the ability, like the ASUS routers, to go ahead and hook a drive up to it via USB and still access those files. Also, you can hook up a drive that's network attached with an Ethernet cable, and the AI cloud will actually still allow you to securely access those drives. So there is hope for you if you are an owner of Mycloud and you're like, all right, what am I going to do now? Rather than have just a paperweight and have to upgrade, you'll be able to do that with a new router. And I believe I can only speak on ASUS routers. That's generally what I use. I've used other routers in the past. I'm sure most of the big players in the router industry have the ability to tap into files or to access documents remotely, but I really like the way ASUS does. To be all honest with you, when I would access files on the go, like watching a movie or whatnot, I always found that the ASUS AI cloud access those files a lot quicker than the Mycloud app, and I'm never really sure why that is, but it was lightning quick compared to Mycloud. There was a huge delay. The other nice thing about the reason for accessing files like that is because let's just say you're at somebody else's house and you say, let's want to watch a movie. They have a Chromecast. My whole idea was to be able to take the Mycloud app and be able to cast a movie from your network, like your own Netflix, and play it remotely on a Chromecast anywhere in the world. I found it very glitchy when I would try to do that. Sometimes, and again, remember, it's depending upon your network speed, and my up speed is not all that fast where I live. So that kind of created a little bit of a bottleneck there. So I never really took advantage of that very often. Sometimes if I was on vacation or on a plane, I'd watch a movie on my phone. But those times are few and far between. And really, in all honesty, if it was something that I really, absolutely wanted to do, I would just basically move the file over to my phone and have it on the hard drive itself, or on the card that's in the phone. But the point of the video is I want to give, again, these are the kind of things that companies do that really kind of piss me off, because people buy these things with the idea that they're going to be able to access these things and use these features, only to have the company turn around and say, oh, not anymore, you have to upgrade. And it's really nonsense to me. It's a shame that Western Digital kind of went this approach without still offering some sort of legacy access for older devices like that. I understand, I can appreciate internet security with the best of them, but at the end of the day, people still bought these drives, and now if you have been accessing these files remotely through Mycloud, you're not going to be able to unless you upgrade to a new drive. Now, it would be nice if they said, oh, well, we realize that people have this problem. We're going to go ahead and maybe give you a buyback program. Maybe they'll give you 50% off. Instead, they're giving you 20% off. And let's face it, a lot of times when they give 20% off and you buy them directly through the manufacturer generally marks their prices up quite a bit more than if you were to just get them on Amazon. So you're really kind of nonsense to me. And it's shame on my Western Digital for doing that to their customers. Another example of this would be Cortana. This was a device that I bought, one of their JBL Cortana speakers. It wasn't cheap, and ultimately they discontinued Cortana support. So that means people went out and spent hundreds of dollars on this device, only to find out that, oh, by the way, now it's just a big expensive Bluetooth speaker. So pretty shitty, in my opinion, that companies can do this, and that's why I always recommend, if at all, depending on what you're buying, again, whatever you're buying, to take into consideration that what happens if the company suddenly stops supporting this. A perfect example is all these smart home tech devices we have. If a company like, let's say LifeX decides one day to say, hey, we're not going to support any of these older lights anymore, or this company's just out of business, it's going to be up to the company to actually move that cloud system, if I'm saying that correctly, over to somebody else who can still maintain that network connectivity. Otherwise, your LifeX bulbs aren't going to work. So all these internet devices are really cool as long as the companies are still in existence. So again, for me, all the devices that I have, a lot of which, it would cause me more of an annoyance that if anything was discontinued, right? Now, it is annoying for my drive, for Mycloud, because I do like the ability to be able to access those files remotely if I want to, Maybe there's a song I just, need to listen to or whatever. Maybe there's a file I'm just trying to get. I don't want to have to run home. Those are few and far between, those times, but it's the principle thing that companies will discontinue support for products that people spend good money on. I'm really glad at this point I didn't buy another Western Digital drive like I was going to, because then it would just be useless for any kind of remote access. Now again, the good thing is if you did buy a Microsoft Western Digital Mycloud drive and you do need to be able to access those files remotely, there is an answer for you, and I do recommend, based on the use that I've had, is just to upgrade your router. Now that doesn't necessarily mean upgrading your whole Wi-Fi network. I went ahead and upgraded to the top of the line ASUS router years ago, the AC3200. I mainly upgraded to that router because I wanted to be able to connect more smart home tech devices. At the end of the day, that router started dropping connections at about 25. So all the big fancy antennas, all the big claims of bandwidth, and high speeds, ultimately those are really marketing tools to make you think that you're getting something that is amazing. Now, I'm not saying that the ASUS router isn't a good router. I'm not saying that I don't like it, but for the Wi-Fi part of it, it was absolutely a waste of money. I could have got away with having a router that was just their basic, same firmware, same specifics as far as processor, speed, RAM, all that stuff. I could have got something a lot cheaper that didn't have the capability of the big fancy 6 antennas, because ultimately it's useless for me. I went ahead and upgraded to Ubiquiti, which I highly recommend for any network. I think really, if you're in the market for upgrading your network, definitely go Ubiquiti. Now, I don't know if Ubiquiti makes anything. I don't know if their Edge router allows you to access a network attached storage drive remotely. I'm not sure. I'm using my Asus and the Asus Cloud. I basically use that router specifically for my router. I have a modem, which is for the modem functions, router for the router, and then for my my access points, I use 4 different access points throughout the house, backyard, front, that kind of stuff. Again, totally different discussion. But just want you guys to think about that if you are in the market for a Western Digital drive, and maybe I have found that, again, my whole thing was to be able to cast media remotely to a TV at a different location, right? Now, the Western Digital app that I did use, on some phones, it would show the Chromecast icon. Other phones, it wouldn't. I'm not sure if it was a different release, different version, a glitch, not really sure. The downside to that app is it would work, but again, let's say your bandwidth wasn't a problem. As soon as you close the app, it would stop playing. So again, could be phone specific, not sure. It was something that when I wanted to use it, I would bring a separate phone with me and just keep it plugged in and constantly on without the screen locking in order to keep the movie playing. So again, you're always better off just having media on a USB drive and having a DVD player that has a USB port if you want to move files around with you. But it is nice to be able to have that stuff on demand. With the AI Cloud, they do not have a cast feature with their app, which is really disappointing. I hope maybe it's something that they might add down the road. But to date, I don't know of any other way to be able to stream your media remotely. You could do it if you were to go ahead and play your media through the AI Cloud app on, let's say, your Android device and basically mirror the screen to a Chromecast, but I find that's kind of choppy and glitchy. I don't find it ever works all that well. Again, it would be really nice if they add the Chromecast feature to their app, but time will tell. We'll see. That's it, guys. That's all I wanted to share with you guys. So just be careful if you are in the market for buying a network attached storage. The support for older OS 3 devices is ending in April. I don't recommend you get a older Mycloud. Although, if you aren't too concerned with being able to access your files remotely and use the Mycloud, it might be a good opportunity to pick up some of these older drives at a discount. So, I don't know. We'll see. I'll put a link in the description where you can check out the Mycloud and the Western Digital products. I do like the drive. It's been pretty good to me over the years. The only thing I found with it is that I had a separate 4 terabyte USB drive that I would plug into the back of the LAN attached drive, and it was always very glitchy. Well, years later I found the problem was my cable, the USB 3.0 cable, was defective. So I replaced that, and now I have it plugged into my desktop. But yeah, so keep in mind, if you're having any kind of glitchiness with anything USB related, I know it seems like no way it could be the cable. It doesn't get moved. It doesn't get abused. It does happen. Mine just sat in the closet for years, not being touched, not being obstructed, not being moved around where the cable get damaged. Sure enough, the cable was damaged. So just kind of keep that in mind. So anyway, guys, let me know if you have any questions. I'm not an expert, but I'm always here to help you guys out. If I can answer the question, I will. If not, I'll try to refer you somewhere where you might be able to get an answer. As always, guys, happy holidays. Be kind to one another and take care.